Okay, hello everyone. This is Art, also known as Art the Artist, and this is going to be my tutorial on the Gnome version today. And so I just want you to get a quick look. This is more or less what we're gonna do. I'm gonna make a few small subtle changes, but it'll be basically the same gnome. So first of all, let me go over some of the materials you're gonna need. You're gonna need a canvas. Okay, so we'll start in the painting now. So what we're doing is we're doing a gnome. So first of all, there's going to be some ground here. So we'll just want to kind of establish that ground. It's going to kind of just come around and boom. You're going to just have like, it's going to curve out here. And you don't want to press hard with this pencil. All we're doing is trying to get like just the outline of where things are going to go to help us as we go along. So I think about the gnome, and I think like the nose might be a good place to start because you just kind of measure, not in the middle. Like here's the middle this way, so you do want to have the middle here, but like how low do you want to have it, and how high do you want to have it? I think you want a little bit more space over here, so you could use your pencil and just kind of look here and say, okay, let me see. The eraser's up here, so the nose is right. Here, maybe to here. And how much space? So it's shorter down here slightly. So I think that's right. So I would just draw like a circle here. Just a real rough. I'm not going to press hard at all. I don't want to press really hard. And that just gives me kind of a starting point. So the hat on the gnome kind of rests right over the top of the nose. It kind of goes right over the top of the nose. And I'm just putting a general line here. And there's like just like a brim on that hat, and these lines can be real light and soft. So I think I have it. Right. So we're gonna see, because I'm gonna draw the hat, and I feel like there's not enough space on top. Let me see. Here. It's gonna be. It feels like it's gonna be a little bit tight. I might. So then the beard would be down here. We'll draw the beard. The beard would be like that. And then you have the bottom of the skirt that he's wearing. It's kind of like, just like this brim up here, and probably just about as wide too. So we can start there. And then he would have this body coming up. So I think we're looking pretty good. And so the arms would come out around middle of this beard here, like about right there. And another one right here. And then this arm actually is going to have the heart up here, so it would be going up. Like kind of like that. And these arms are really short, so this one just kind of goes down. And he has a little cuff right here too. And then he's wearing these big giant mittens, so you just have to go and make that mitten. Down here is just two circles, because he has on it's just the black little feet. The black little shoes. Okay, and so up here, I think, yeah, just real light, and maybe it's back here a little bit. And then what he has here is a big heart, so we'll just and maybe that is actually shorter than I thought. So we'll just make it the cuff right here. And his thumb sticks out right here. And then his glove goes in here. And that's good enough because we're just trying to get a general sense of this. So now we can work on that beard a little bit more and kind of make it, give it a little bit more character here. There we go. And now that I'm looking at it, I think that we could make that nose a little bit bigger. And we're good on that. So now it's just about making this hat. And I want to kind of bring the hat up, but go in here a little bit. And you're going to circle around. Boom. And then this one. We'll circle around. Now on the other painting, there's like a hook, but I just want to make a heart right here. So it almost looks like a heart tail here. Boom. And there's the heart. And I think that's all we need to start. So the next thing would be to what I would like to do first is just to do the background blue, all this blue here, right here. And the blue's a little transparent, so what I'm doing is just going to add a little bit of blue down here. And I'll hold it up right now so you can see what I'm doing. But you're kind of going to need kind of a lot of it. Probably more white than blue, actually. This has some. It has a little bit of dried paint around it. We'll take the titanium white. We'll probably want more of that. Be a good amount. So I probably put, I don't know, maybe I put too much, but I'm starting off with this. And you're going to take your big brush. So you want to make sure you put your brush in some water. See, what I do is I start off with, I dip it in the water, and then I kind of like dry it off a little bit, just so it's moist. Put that right there. And then we're going to just take a little bit of this, and we'll start mixing in this. We want to get like a light, like a baby blue color. A baby blue sky color. And that's good. I probably have too much paint down here, but we'll get it done. We'll get it done. And I'm just using my brush to mix it right now. You could use the palette knife. This is just a little bit faster. And just gotta mix that pretty good. So just gonna start laying it on there, all around. And you make sure you use this big brush. You don't want to use a little brush. Shoot, if you have an even bigger brush, that's even better, because you could just really spread it on there faster. And I don't like to waste too much time when I know I'm just trying to lay a solid color down. So I want to keep it fun and just really play with the paint, have fun with the paint. I mean, painting is so much fun. I'm addicted to it. So I hope if you're watching this that you'll become addicted too. And if you like this video, that you'll follow my page. By the way, this is my first video, and I'm only doing this because when I was working my company asked me one day. They knew that I painted a little, so they asked me, "Hey, do you want to do like a paint and sip with the company because we need someone to lead the paint?" And I said, "You know what? I could do that, no problem. You know, I already knew how to paint somewhat, and I've been painting for about 2 or 3 years, and I'm really into it. And I decided to try to help them out, and I just volunteered. And anyways, to make a long story short, I ended up doing it. Everybody loved it, had a great time, and so we ended up making it a regular thing. So I did about 3 of them, and then COVID happened, and I thought, oh well, this is over. I guess I'm not. But no, they called me and said, we want to do one on Zoom. Everybody was going berserk, at home because it was lockdown. So I ended up doing one every month during COVID, and it kind of actually helped me to keep my sanity because I had this thing to do at night, So, um, so I started doing that, and then from there, I ended up doing it for almost 2 years, and actually I'm still doing it, and I've never recorded any of these even though they were on Zoom. But now people are asking me, do I have a tutorial, do I have a video? So I said, well, I don't, but you know what, it's a good idea. Maybe I should make some videos. And so here I am. So this is my first one. And so I just thank you and welcome you. If you're here watching this, then that's awesome. And my plan is to just keep recording these for every one that I've done. I also ended up doing paint and sips for all my friends and family while we were on lockdown. And I did it for free, and I did it on Zoom. And I was doing those. Sometimes I was doing those twice a month. So, and then there was a little bit of a burnout, so we started doing it once a month, and it was great. Everybody loved it. But I those ones I kind of stopped doing because when things kind of got back to normal, there wasn't as big of a demand. But I've been getting requests, so I'm going to probably start that up again. But I do enjoy doing it, yeah. And at one point, I was doing all this for free. I was doing all this volunteer work for free. And I started to need a little bit of help because it kind of gets expensive. I had to subscribe to my own Zoom account for personal use. That was a little bill, and then the paints, and then I ended up with I got a good I don't know, over 50 canvases this size with paintings on them that I went through a lot of canvases. So see, people just naturally started donating to my Venmo account, and so that helped a lot. But I just broke even, but I'm doing it because I love it, and I like to contribute. If people feel like they need it, then I'll do it, So, life is tough. There's a lot of things going on. So, but I encourage you, if you're a painter, if you feel like you're a painter, and if you feel like you need to paint, and that something is calling you to paint, then by all means, paint. You'll feel a lot better, and you'll feel more fulfilled if that's your thing. If it's just a hobby, if something you love to do for fun, then just keep doing it, and don't let nobody take away your hobby from you or slow down. And if it brings you joy, do it, because it's important. All those little things are important. We need happy people on the road, not angry people. I think everybody could agree on that, right? So, and we need the little things in life that bring us joy, and painting is like a pretty awesome way. You know, if it's for you, it's for you. You know, I always tell my classes, you know, no self-judging, just have fun. Take yourself back to when you were a child and you didn't judge, you just did it. So just do it. Okay, so I had all that paint on this brush and I rinsed it off in water. And I would recommend that you have like a rag. I use old towels, you know, that we don't use anymore. And I tear them into small pieces and I use them to dry off. You could use a paper towel. When I have the classes that are live in person, I will we use paper towels, and for pellets we use paper plates. So, but I at home I just use a rag, so I don't have to go through so many paper towels, you know, at home. And then if they're still in decent shape after a lot of use, I'll wash them and try to reuse them as many times as I can. So now we got all that blue out of the way there. And I'm going to say, okay, so down here on the ground, we're just going to go ahead and paint that blue too, because it'll be a lot better after when you put the white on top of it. The white will dry, and you should be able to see the line like vaguely through the paint. Anyways, and what'll happen? It'll just look really nice. With the undercoat, because once this blue dries on this bottom here, and you can you'll put white over it, and it'll just pop a lot more because you have this undercoat. Because then you can't really see it just on the canvas that's already white. So this gives it like a little off-white tone. I mean, you could mix some other color, like just a tad of blue or a tad of pink or something, or a tad of black, and just tint that white, you know. Like if you go to the paint store, there's like eggshell white and, I don't know, all these cream white and vanilla white, and, you know, it's just a little bit of paint, another color that goes in there. But this is an easy way just to give it that background when you add the white to it a little tone. So I forgot about that I like to do that. So now I'm done. I covered all that. It's a little more transparent here because that paint had a little bit more water inside of it. So the water will also thin the paint too. So I'm just going to clean this brush off. And, you know, what you need to do is really like let this dry quite a bit. And then before you start painting on it, so you don't like get a lot of mix in there. But what we could do is we could go straight into the reds. We'll go straight into the red colors. So I have a pink, but I'm not going to use that. I'm gonna mix the pink so you guys could see, you know, how that works. And so I'm going to get it like a little bit of a. What I'm going to do is take my palette knife here, and I'm going to take some of this white right here and move it over here. And I have the blues up here, so I still have a lot of this white. I'm just going to take a little bit of this red, and I'm just going to mix it in with this white and see how much pink I can get out of that. Like, that's a lot of pink, and I only put a little bit of red in there. So now I have, that's all I need really. And you mix it pretty good, you know, mix it around. And now I still have this red and this red to paint the other parts. And we'll see how that goes. Sometimes that red could be very transparent, so I may have to put a couple of layers in there, but we'll see. And I'm going to start off with the bigger round brush to do some outlining here of all the things that are going to be red. And I'm just going to go straight into the red color. And I know like this part up here is going to be red. So I'm just going to kind of outline that. I'll kind of follow that pencil mark that I have in there. And yeah, I wanted to play some music, but the problem is that when I have music, YouTube will tag the video, and then you can't monetize your video. So it's kind of, everybody wants their money for music, but whatever. Can't blame them. It's their music, right? I mean, but come on, I'm just doing a video and I want to just play. But I might add some YouTube music in here in the background after, if I could figure that out. So it's not. Okay. So I'm just kind of outlining that, and I'm kind of establishing like the other areas here in red. And I'm not using too much water here with this outlines here. I did just add some water there. If the paint starts to get if it's not fluidy enough, then you add a little bit of water, but don't overdo it. You don't want like drips of paint, and the more water you add to it, it makes the paint become transparent. So you can get away without adding too much water. And then right here, okay. And then I would do like the inside of this beard, underneath this beard. And don't try too hard. Just let the paint do the work for you. Just kind of fill it in. And that's most of the red. Then I'm going to do the brim up here. I'm just going to outline that too. Boom. Boom. Here we go. So I'm going to try and paint straight through without like stopping or taking a break. And we'll see how long it takes me. But like, since this is going to be on YouTube, you'll be able to, you could just pause the video at any point, and and then when you're ready, you just unpause and see what else you need to see to be able to fill this in. So yeah, I'm using kind of a small brush. So these bigger areas, like I could get my brush here, it's a little bit bigger, and we can go quite a bit faster to fill these areas in. So once I have my outline, it's a lot faster than using that little brush. And I'm really close to the microphone, so I hope I'm not like breathing too hard or anything, because I have a tendency to sometimes, I don't think I'm doing it. I can't really hear myself, but end up being like a real heavy breather. So I'm trying not to do that. And then I learned also that when I do my paint sips, that I'll clear my throat like quite a bit, and I try to do that now too. So you just learn as you go along, like, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just a little bit unpleasant to hear, for some people. And when I found out, I was like embarrassed, but nobody, I had to start asking people, like, what can I do better? Because, I think no matter how well you're doing, like, there's always room for improvement. And you should always be asking that question, what can I do better? No matter how good things seem or get. Because then if you don't, then that's when you get caught off guard, and then before you know it, things are going kaput. So you want to stay on top of your game. It's a good thing. Nothing to stress about, but something that you should always be self-aware of. What can I do better? I don't know where I heard it, but I always remember this saying. They say, you can't keep doing the same thing. And expect new results. So it's good to be consistent, but everything changes. Technology changes, the times change, sometimes your audience changes, whatever. You got to just keep up. You get left in the dust. Like Kodak got left in the dust. They thought that the digital camera would never surpass the film, and they were totally wrong. They went from being the biggest company in the world to literally nothing, like almost overnight. It was tragic to see that, but they refused to keep up. They refused what was coming. So I just find those kind of stories like interesting, so interesting. So yeah, we're just painting all the red areas here. The areas that are going to be solid red for right now. And we'll start working with that hat. The hat, we're going to make that all pink. I already mixed that color, as you saw. So I'm just going to fill the rest of this in. And you don't need a lot of water here. Try to avoid using too much water, because it'll actually become, like I said, a little transparent, and then start to look almost pink if you have too much water in there. You want red. So this red has a lot of pigment, so we're pretty good. We're looking pretty good. Pretty good. Okay. So you want something like that. And if like here, you could see some of the outline of the pencil. I probably went a little too dark in some of these areas, but again, the red has a lot of pigment, but it's still like transparent. But what that is just, we'll go over another layer when this layer is dry. So right now we're going to work on the pink area up here. All this will just be pink. And you can make that hot pink, whatever kind of pink you want. It's really up to you. I made mine, it looks very pink, and that's fine. It is Valentine's Day, so yeah, so I have done a lot of different things, and as far as for paint and sips, I did my first gnome this last December, and it's been fun painting gnomes. So I had this one class that was in person, and I outlined I drew all the gnomes on the canvas for them. I used some transfer paper, and I just transferred it all. And I don't normally do that, but I just felt like I didn't want anybody to struggle with the painting, and it was in person. And I asked some of the leaders of the group, and they were like, "Yeah, that would be great." So I did it, and their paintings came out really nice. So I was like, I thought, well, that's kind of cool. You know, some students really love that, and some of them don't, because they want the challenge of trying to draw it themselves, or maybe they don't want the outline that I provided. They want to switch it up a little bit. But I taught them how to do that. There was some people who, actually in that class, I had a very Christmassy looking gnome, and I told them, you can paint the gnome any Christmas color that you want, and you could decorate the cap any way that you want. And boy, I got really opened the door there, and the creativity just came out. It was just really awesome to see that. I think it's more about the creativity than anything else. That's really what makes you artistic, is your ability to be creative. So I want to do these little areas around the cuffs here, and these are going to be pink. So I feel better doing it with like the smaller round brush, which is a little smaller than what I'd like, but it's actually going to work well for this area. So I'll just do these here. I'll put that there. Yeah, this is the Cupid gnome. We'll call him the Cupid gnome. And here. Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure I probably shouldn't. I'll fix that part after. And then we'll come down. Yeah, like if you make, like Bob Ross always says, there's no mistakes in painting. There's only happy accidents. And it's just paint. So any kind of mistake that you make or something, you just paint over it. It's just, especially with acrylic paint, it dries fast, and you can just paint right over. Wait for it to dry, and then paint over it, and you'll be fine. So we're just going to paint this. There's not like a ton of color mixing. So just a lot more painting than color mixing, which is, we're keeping it simple and making it fun. And that's where we're going. So just enjoy it, and just lay that paint on there to your heart's desire. Okay. I think I like how this one's a little bit bigger here. I think I'm gonna just like extend this one out, and it needs another layer. Maybe it's too soon. I might have to come back after it dries a little more. Okay. So I need to let like all this stuff kind of dry, and really should be taking a break, but like I said, I'm going to paint straight through, and we'll see how long this will take me. And again, like you're at home, you could pause. So on the beard, what I do is I paint all this beard like a really light gray. So I'm going to use a little bit of Mars black for the beard. And I still have like some white here, so I'm gonna put a little bit of black right here. I really just need, like, that's probably too much, but that's all I need is a little drop. And I'm gonna clean off my palette knife. So I'm just gonna steal a little bit of white from up here. Put a little bit down here, that's all I need. And I just need like a little tiny, a little bit. You just want a little bit of that black. Just a little bit of black and mix it in there. And I want to make like a really light gray. Geez, that's probably already too dark. So I'm gonna have to steal some more white. And I don't know what I'm gonna use the rest of it for, but okay, so yeah, I put too much black in there, but it's all right. We'll just use this, and I'll show you how we could tone it down afterwards. And I'm gonna go to my big brush here, and all this will be gray. So it's gonna end up white, but we're gonna make it gray right now. There you go. So I'm just going to fill all that in. Yeah. So we'll do all this gray, and then it's a process, so just trust the process. Because once all that gray is painted on there, we'll let it dry, and then we'll come over the top of it with the white whiskers, and it's going to look really super cool. So I just switched to my smaller flat brush. Try and get the edges right here. Okay. Yeah, so you want it to look just about like that. And so we'll let all this dry. There's still probably, it's a little wet everywhere because we're moving kind of fast. So, but down here, it's dry. So with acrylic paint, like, you paint one area, it's still kind of wet. You move to the area that's dry, you start working there. So here we need to put like the snow, which is just, for this version, it's just going to be like some white. And put some white snow down here. My brush is got a little too much water on it, so it's real transparent, but there we go, it's a little better. Yeah, put some white on here. I'm just going to paint straight through those shoes because we're going to make those black anyways afterwards. So I'm not going to worry about trying to outline that too much. Once it's dry, we're just going to make 2 black circles right there to represent those shoes. So it's more, you know, it's like a cartoon character kind of, so a very cute gnome, you know, Guardians of the Garden. Is that where they made the title from, the movie? Yeah, I love that movie, Guardians of the Garden. Guardians, what is it? Guardians of the Galaxy. Yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy. That's a great movie. With Groot. I should do a painting of Groot. That would be fun, right? Let me know if you want a painting of Groot, and I'll do one of Groot. Yeah, so I'm kind of, you know, like I said, I'm going to be doing these. My ambition is to do like one a week, maybe. So if there's something you want to do, let me know. Leave me a note, and we'll comment below, and we'll comment in the comments, and I'll consider anything. Okay, so now at this point we just need to let things dry a little bit, and we can kind of go over them. See, this is a little dry. I can still see some of the pencil marks in there, so I kind of want to just make another coat of red on here and see how that looks. You know, it's cool in these hearts is you could put, once they dry, you could put like, you know, I love you or something like that, like be my Valentine, whatever you want. So I think I could paint the black glove over here. So I have some black in my palette already. And I'm going to use the round brush again. And just on the gloves, I'm just using like straight black. So we'll just yeah. And over here. There you go. Still a little wet down here, so I'm not going to go there yet. And the gray up here is still a little wet. The pink's still wet. Okay. So we'll take a little break. I'm going to stop and then I'll let things dry and I'll come back. Okay, we're back. So it's a little bit more dry now. What I want to do is put some paint on this, on the nose. And what I was going to use there is some of this burnt sienna, or if you have brown, that'll work too. Any kind of brown that you have at home. Just need a very little bit. And I have, a little bit here, and I have some white over here. I'm just gonna still a little bit of white, put a little bit over here, and that's like a lot. I just need a little tiny piece of that brown, or that's a burnt sienna. So mix it with white like that. It starts to turn into almost like a skin color with a reddish tone. Oh, sorry, I can't tell. It's right there. And I'm going to use this Filbert, or cat's claw, they call it. And that's it. I just got to kind of let that dry. Leave the nose alone once you put that first layer, and then you come back later and add a little bit of highlight to it if you want, if you need to, you feel like you need to. So all of this is kind of dry. That's still really wet. The peak is taking a long time to dry. So we'll work on the beard, because the beard seems to be dry, and that's just going to be coming down and making these whiskers with white paint. And I'm using the same brush. Just kind of lay the pin on there kind of heavy, and just come down with some long lines, a few short ones. Kind of let the brush stroke kind of show, and kind of make it wavy wherever I can. And you'll see that the here, just kind of real lightly go around it. Not pressing hard now. Don't get all up on the ferrule of this. This is the ferrule of the brush. You don't want to get your hand all up here like that. You want to kind of hold it back like this and kind of be loose. These are short-handled brushes. For these smaller paintings, they're great. It just depends on what you're working on. And but I love long-handled brushes too when I'm working on larger works. And just be loose. Don't. Yeah. So that's pretty good right there. So I can let that dry, and if you like the white effect, you could stick with that. And if you want to darken it up, you just go back to the black or a darker gray. Not, you don't want to use black, but a darker gray. And what you could do there is just make some other tones in there, and it'll give it more contrast. So right here, I don't know, I had a little bit too much water in my black, so I need to go over that. These areas here that kind of dripped out or something. Okay. There we go. So I'm just touching up some areas here, like this cuff here. I'm just going to put another layer of pink on there. And I'm going to do it here as well. Maybe down in here, some of these areas. I can still kind of see the pencil mark. Oops. You can just kind of wipe, if you make a mistake, sometimes you can just wipe it with your finger before it dries and it comes right off. But yeah, like I was telling you earlier, like Bob Ross said, there's no mistakes in painting, only happy accidents. Happy accidents. Some words to live by for painters. Okay, so now we're going to move on up here to the hat, and we need to make some like dividing lines here, some red lines here, and then we'll come back over and we'll do a few rows of hearts and a couple of different designs. So we just want to use some red, and I'm actually going to use the round brush. It's better. This is where we really need the round brush. The round brush will work great. So I got the round brush, and I put a little bit of water. You don't want it to be too watery, but you want to have some water on there. So we're just gonna make some lines. Yeah, and just be, don't hold that brush too tight. Be kind of loose. Let the brush kind of flow. This one's a little thicker. There you go. So starting to look like a cap here. And then we'll just do some little ones here. Oops. No. I like to do like a lot of, you skip a little bit of space and you do some here. And give them a little curvy right here. Boom, just like that. So I'm looking at it, I think like, you know what, I want one right here. There. Not have to be perfect, just leave it. Just leave it, those crooked lines there. It's a hat. It'll give it a little bit of character and make it look like it's, the bended lines give it a little bit of a dynamic effect, they call it. So it looks like it's not perfect, it's stretched, it's fabric, right? So don't worry too much about every line being perfectly straight there. Now I like to put some white lines in there, but like I want to let that red stuff dry a little bit. So I'm going to move back down here to the black. So I'll clean my brush off, and I'm going to use actually the Filbert style brush. I'm going to get it nice and cleaned off. Got nice and clean. It's got some water on it. Do not make it too wet. And we're going to paint down here. We're going to do the shoes. Those are boots. Winter boots. Every gnome must have in the winter. In the army, we used to call them Mickey Mouse boots. When we wore our cold weather boots, or these big giant black boots. Yeah, they were like old school. But I'll tell you what, they kept your feet warm, and they kept your feet from getting wet. Because I think if your feet getting wet was probably the most dangerous thing. When you're in the cold weather, you don't want your feet to get wet. Get frostbite. So, but the cold weather was okay. Had never really seen snow, even though I'm from California and, you know, we have mountains here. I never really been camping quite a bit growing up, but I had never been in the snow I can remember, because we always camped in the summer. Because my parents just didn't like the cold weather stuff, you know. So maybe I did go once or twice with somebody up to the snow. slid around. Or maybe it was as an adult. I think as an adult, maybe I went. But anyways, when I got stationed in Germany, man, it was, I saw more than my share of snow over there. Beautiful winters. But I liked staying there for a couple years and learning about it. But I love California weather way better than anywhere else that I've been. So now we can continue to work down here, and we'll let this part up here dry up a bit more. But what I like to do is take a little bit of the blue, and we're going to kind of work on this line here, and we'll outline it in some blue, kind of like this, and like that. We'll give it some try to give it a little bit of depth, and maybe we got some here. So we got that. I'll just rinse that out. So that looks kind of nice. And if we want, we could tone some of this blue here if you want. I'd say mix it with a little bit of white, but maybe you want a darker shade. And if you want to, you don't have to do this. This is completely optional. Yeah. That's the beautiful thing about painting. I mean, there's some people who confine themselves to very strict rules, and in the modern world, you could do whatever you want. And if you like it, then, as a matter of fact, something I think I want to do, and I was thinking about this for quite a while, is I want to put maybe like a little range behind him there, so that we can just add some more depth to it. So we're going to do the same thing and mix that blue you have with a little bit of, and we're just going to kind of add this little abstract background here. I think this is just really going to make this painting pop a little more interesting. And just go up with it. Go up, 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 up. A little water. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go here. I don't want a perfectly straight line here. I want it a little jagged. There we go. Yeah. I really like that. And we're just going to do this real light. do it over here. Here. Yeah, at this point, you know, I'm using a really small brush for an area where I can cover it really fast with a slightly bigger brush. And yeah, much better. Much, much better. It just, I like this darker background. Like maybe there's something more behind him than just nothing. We'll stick with the blue. Ooh. There we go. So now we'll work on that. I'm just going to kind of leave that same color. I'm not going to wash my brush too much. And I'm going to kind of work on the snow areas. I'm just going with heavy white streaks here. And I'm just going to put those. There we go. Yeah, I like it. This one. Okay. Yeah, I like it. Okay. And then if you want, I did this on the other ones. I put a few clouds up in the sky. And what I did was, you know, you don't want just a cloud floating, so you want to have it going off of the board. And they're just little cotton ball, like big cotton balls. There's one there. And maybe there was one over here. And just outline them like that. And then I come with the mid-size half-inch brush. Add a little bit of, I just add a tiny bit of pink in there into that white. And just kind of fill this in. And I just think these clouds are just cool. Like, they remind me of like the cartoons I used to watch when I was a kid. So. Oh, sorry, tapped the camera there. And then what I'll do is those clouds are cool. So if you like them like that, you like them like that. That's cool. But I'm gonna add like a little bit of a blue outline. So I'm gonna take some of that cerulean blue that I use with. I'm not gonna go pure with it, but I'm gonna go not completely light, but more like this tone down here. And I'm just gonna put like an outline. Like that. And then maybe like that. Same thing here. That's it. Right, maybe I'll add one more line like here. There we go. And those are my clouds. Very simple. And we got blue mountains in the background. We got white snow here in the front ground here. We got the nose. So the nose, now that the nose is probably dry, so I could take a little bit of that brown that I had and I can just add a little bit of highlight here. Just add a little bit of white in there. And mixing it around. And I want to be able to, I'm trying to make it not a solid color, which is just a style that I paint. But if you like it to be like solid color, don't show any brush strokes, you could definitely do that style. That would be no problem. But I like it to have some, I like the brush strokes to show up. I want people to know it's a painting. Excuse me, there I go, clearing my throat. They told me not to do that, but it's a hard habit to break. So I'm also talked about how you could put some darker tones in here, just using a small round brush. Not a bad idea. It just you could put as little or as much as you want. Under here, I'm going to leave a little bit of a shadow. And the beautiful thing, like maybe I might be putting a little, I may be overdoing it here. I don't know. I gotta decide later if I think I overdid it. You know, as you're painting, sometimes you just gotta take a break as you're painting, sometimes you have to take a break and then kind of come back and look at your painting and kind of see it from a different perspective, because sometimes you think, oh man, I ruined it, and then you come back and you look at the painting again and you go like, hey, you know what, actually I kind of like it. I actually do like it. It looks maybe even better than I expected. So, but what that does, if you take a break, especially if you're struggling anywhere with the painting, take a break, get up, um, do what you do, go smoke a cigarette, take a bathroom break, have a snack, have a drink, whatever it is, and then just don't look at your painting for like 5 to 15 minutes. And what you'll find is that while you're away from your painting, your mind is still working on the painting. Your subconscious mind is trying to your subconscious mind is trying to solve the problem. So you have to give it time. So when you come back to the painting, don't think about it too hard. Just come back and start painting. Because you might turn around and say, Art, I did that and I came back and I got nothing. Well, don't think about it. Just start painting and kind of let things flow and then see what happens. And I think sometimes, most of the time, you will surprise yourself and find out maybe one, that it's not really, you didn't really make the mistake you thought you made, because it's not, it looks good, and second, if you just start working on it, you can't never really overwork a painting. Paintings are never finished, they're only abandoned. So okay, so we're going to do a little design here with some white paint. I have a little bit of white paint here still in my palette. And I'm using my smaller round brush, the smallest round brush that I have, that I showed you today. And I'm going to make some little ziggy-zaggy lines here. So make sure you have your brush loaded with a good amount of paint. And we're just going to go like this. And you might have to reload your brush. Make sure you have enough on there. Boom. There you go. And maybe okay. Over right there. See that? I can just go back over with red. Okay, and then there's some other areas here. We could do some hearts right in here. And white. Maybe I should do those in red. I'll do a few in white, and then in between, I'll come back and do them in red. How's that? That should work out nice, right? Just make it up. Have fun. And paint to your heart's desire. And I want to do some here because it'll be a nice contrast against this red to go with white. This is a very lovable gnome. He has heart. So there we go. Okay, so now we're going to put some red hearts. Still have a lot of red here. I'll do some red hearts in between. And we'll just there we go. And here we're gonna just kind of paint over that. And oh, you know what I wanted to do was some white lines. I forgot about that. So you can use the same brush. And I wanted to put a white line right in here. There we go. And then another one here. We'll make all that white. And then we'll do one here. And I'll do a few more here. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, you could just kind of go to town on that if you want. And bring it. I kind of like that. There you go. So that's a lot of hearts. So how about we'll do some dots. How about some dots? We'll do some dots. Just kind of make it up. There we go, that looks cool. And then a few more of these hearts. We'll do like oh, we want to do those in red. They stand out against the pink. So we'll do them in red. Make a couple of good sized ones. right, we're getting really close to finishing here. This is kind of everything, you know, you want to do. So I want to put another coat of red in here. You know, if you add a little touch of white to the red, just a tad, you don't want it to turn pink, but it'll be more opaque. And you'll just get rid of those, anything you can see underneath it. So that's what I'm doing right now. Just adding a touch of white. Just leftover red. Just really makes things opaque. Oh, a hell of a white right there. Too much white. It's all right. Nothing to panic about. Okay. So I think I do want to add some more white in here. I think I may have overdid it a little bit with the darker gray. All right. Get some white. All right. Okay. I'm just gonna add a little bit of highlight here. A little bit of highlight here. Okay, final touch after all that is just a little bit of green. So we're going to put a little bit of green, and we're going to make some little plants that are coming through the winter snow. Here. Just a couple here and there. Nothing too. I don't even know what kind of plants these are. These are just something to have. Add a little bit of pizzazz. That's all we're doing is a little bit of that. And I'm going to put little tiny dots of red to insinuate that even the plants are blooming with hearts. Okay, so we're just going to take a little bit of red on the tip of my thing, and I'm just going to say, okay, we got a little blossom there, a little blossom there, one there, maybe one there, and tiny one there. Real gentle. And I think that's it. I think we're good. And then what you always want to do is always sign your work. You never know where it's going to go. This is my mark. And I like to put the year 2023. Art 23. And I think we're done. Well, you're supposed to, I always like I said, a painting's never really done. This one is done enough. But you can always keep working on it. If you want. There we go. I think I want to put more. Yeah. I think I like that nose better. Okay. Oh, one last thing I want to do is I'll take my small round and some white paint. And I will write on here. Hopefully you can, I'm not blocking the view here for you. I will say, be my, and we'll just put a heart inside the heart because I can't spell that word. Valentine. It's going to be too long. But like you could get like once this is all dry, get like one of those paint markers. It's white or something, and how about we just put up here. B. Oops, too much water there. I think you know where I'm going with this. B. Be mine. Go over that a little bit more. Oops. All right. Just wipe that off before it got too wet. I have a little too much water on my white. That's why that happened. I think we're good. Oh, tighten that up. Well, okay, I think we're done. And thank you for sticking it out if you're still here with me. And I hope that you learned something out of this, and that this session helped you to paint and have fun. And if you have any questions, be sure to leave the comments. And if you want me to do more of these videos, let me know that too. And I think that's about it. Thank you very much. You have a happy Valentine's Day, and happy painting. And remember to always live, love, laugh, dance, and live life to the fullest. Okay? Because life is very short. All right. Ciao.